There's not
before.
every day that you get to talk to someone that you've literally known your whole life.
Yep.
And there's so much I don't know about you, my friend. Welcome to the show, Mr. EJ
Thank
Martinez.
you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
We've been trying to get this on the calendar. Great to have you in today. A lot of people don't know this, but before you were a restaurant entrepreneur, you were a DJ.
Yeah.
Under the name DJ Real.
Yes.
How did you get into DJing? I never even know that story.
You remember DJ Real?
Of course. How am I going to know everybody? I remember the big banners outside the nightclubs. And
DJ Real. I was DJ Real in high school.
Okay.
And I would DJ house parties. I make $150. I was like,
it's great. It's great money.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm like in high school making $150. So playing baseball at the time too.
Yeah.
But I loved DJing so much that I just focused on DJing house party after house party.
Yeah.
You know, fast forward, I'm in college and I meet like one of my life, I can call him a mentor, Mo Garcia, like the king of nightlife in Miami. And he's like, "You DJ?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Give me a mixtape." It's like, "Okay, here, you got one in my backpack." And I gave it to him. He calls me the next day. He's like, "Hey, you can DJ?" I go, "Yeah, no, I told you."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "I'm going to put you on at one of my clubs." I said, "Okay, cool." He's like, "But you got to change your name." What do you mean? He's like, "Why do you call yourself DJ Real?" I was like, "I don't know. I thought it was cool." And he's like, "But your name's EJ." I said, "It is." He's like, "Why don't you call yourself DJ EJ?" I said, "All right."
Brilliant. Whatever, man.
Whatever you want to call me. Like, it's great. Just put me on. And he put me on and took off.
You
DJ
DJed for years in the beach, right?
Yeah. 6 nights a week.
6 nights a week?
6 nights a week.
At what clubs were you at?
Dude, Tuesdays I was doing home cooking.
Yeah, I remember home cooking.
Wednesdays I was at Oxygen.
Yeah.
Thursdays Crowbar. Fridays I was at Mint. Saturdays Opium. And Sunday Tantra.
How many years did you do that for?
Dude, good like 8 years.
No way. No way. So you were a night owl at that point in your life.
I was a night owl. Still going to school at UM. So I'd go to school in the daytime and DJ at nighttime.
My God. So the stories you must have of that era. So
DJ.
So that's kind of like when DJ Khaled was DJing and DJ
Khaled, Irie, like the good DJs.
The good
guys
DJs,
that used to DJ, right? No computers, vinyl, Kid Capri, Mr. Mauricio, Mark Ronson.
For years you did that.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I never understood. So we're going to sort of your entrepreneur journey in the restaurant business. How did you get into pizza? You started off in pizza, correct?
Pizza, yeah. Matched up with somebody about a healthier pizza.
Right.
Power Pizza. We blend protein in our dough. So it's, we're like the light beer pizza.
Yeah.
And I was DJing at the time and I said, "Hey, like I'm here every night. Like I know everybody on the beach. Like let's open a pizza place on the beach."
Yeah.
So we opened on 12th and Washington next to Mansion. And I started selling pizza. Messed it up. Like didn't know what I was doing.
Of course.
It's like, hey, let's make pizza. And I made pizza and we failed. I didn't know how to make pizza.
Yeah, you did.
So but I was like, no, but I can do this. Then in South Miami, I found a pizza place that closed. I said, let me try it again. Take everything that I learned from here and start over, and it worked. So then
you've been in pizza because you've had that restaurant in South Miami for how many years?
Yeah, since 2005.
Wow. And in Miami Beach, I'm assuming not only you were new to the business, but running a pizza by the slice place at midnight in Miami Beach was probably crazy, right?
Oh, it was crazy. It was horrible.
All the drunks and
everything.
All the idiots.
I'm like trained for man. I would DJ. I'd stop DJing at 4:30 in the morning. I'd go to the pizza place. I'd make dough. I'd go home. I'd sleep for a couple hours. Go to school. Come back. Do it all over again.
Oh my God! So you're burning it at both ends of and you're just like, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore.
Nah. Plus, I really messed it up.
Yeah. But you learn, man. You learn. That's how you become a better business owner.
Best year of my life.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
No, I've messed up plenty of stuff, and that's how you you grind through and you become a better business executive, and you learn from it. If you don't learn from it, then it's not
you're
worth it,
constantly
right?
learning. Yeah.
Yeah. But
sure.
Okay, so you open up the pizza place in South Miami. You run it for many years. When did you say, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm doing well on pizzas. Let me get into subs"? Like, when did that pivot happen?
Man, it took a long time. So we South Miami did well.
Yeah.
And then our dads have this mutual friend, Leopoldo, right?
Yeah, right.
The pizza
Yeah.
billionaire.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh, shit's got to work, right?
Yeah.
So we aggressively grew the pizza, probably too fast.
Mm-hmm.
We opened 3 stores in a year. We started franchising. That was a disaster.
Yeah.
So the franchise thing didn't work because you have to be a big system in order to successfully franchise, and we weren't. So we grew to 9 stores through franchising, and we had the wrong franchisees.
Yeah.
So we got out of that. And then that was, I mentioned earlier midlife crisis, right?
Yeah.
Like that was midlife crisis number 1. It's like we lost everything financially, right? Obviously wasn't DJing anymore. All that money dried up.
And your wife's not gonna want you to go at 4 o'clock in the morning to admit.
Yeah, my wife, she was like the steady paycheck, so she got us through everything. And then so I said, man, I have to make money.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? So I got into commercial real estate.
Right.
And I did that for a while with pizza. Being from here, we know everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So sold a lot of land, did well, but I didn't love it. Like I love hospitality. I love, from the DJ days to pizza. Like I love talking to people and making them feel good and just hospitality.
Yeah.
So I didn't love it. So I go through a little crisis. So I go to my wife, God, I was like, I'm not happy. She said, but you're making money in real estate. It's like, but I don't like it.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm good friends with, I'm fast forwarding like two years ago, right? Good friends with Alex Padilla, who owns Sunset Place. And I call him on something and he goes, hey, come by. I want you to see something. What's up? So he shows me Splitsville, the bowling alley that's there. And he goes, what do you think? I go, dude, it's a bowling alley. What do you think? He goes, you want to open it? I go, I don't know how to do a bowling alley. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, let's do it. Let me think about it. So I call Mo. Mo at this time, like he's done everything.
Right.
And then I go, Mo, I want you to come by, check something out. He comes by, he walks around. He's like, you got to do it. I was like, you don't even know what I want to do. He's like, I know, but you got to do it. Like, you could do this. I go, what do we do? He's like, I don't know, but this is such a great space.
Yeah.
So we planned this whole thing like it was going to be, brought in a great chef, programming. I throw a party, right?
Right.
So this was going to be like a place where you could eat good food, good drinks, have fun, and bowl. Bowling was going to be like secondary.
Yeah.
And we were going to do it for like, 2 years till they did their thing. And then if it became something, we'd open another one in the new mall.
Yeah, not a ton of risk.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I go, I plan it, business plan, raise money. I sit with my wife and I said, okay, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Are you in or can we do it? And she's smart. Like she lets me like go off on these tangents and stuff. And she looks at me, she goes, why don't you just open a sub shop? I said, shit, like it's a good idea.
But where did she pull the sub thing from?
She's always wanted a sub shop.
Really?
Yeah, she's always wanted a sub shop. And I forgot. In life, you just keep going, you forget.
Yeah.
So then I go to the gym. I have a group of 4 guys that I go to the gym with, and we're there at 5 o'clock in the morning and working out. I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna open a sub shop. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why?
Right.
Like, I just want to open a sub shop. They go, what are you gonna call it? I said, I don't know. One of them goes, why don't you call it Subbies? I go, shit, it's a good idea.
Pretty good name, yeah.
And then his brother, who's actually a very creative guy, he's like, can I make you a logo? I said, sure, do it. And they came up with Subby, which is like the coolest.
It's a great
sub ever. Like, and then I, signed a lease and go to my wife, hey, I signed the lease, across the street from the pizza place. She's like, for what? I go for the sub shop. You said you wanted to open a sub shop. And she's like, you serious? I go, yeah. She's like, you never made a sub. I was like, well, figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
It's like, but we signed the lease because it was a restaurant. So, we had little work to do with it. We just cosmetically changed some things and Subbies.
So, okay. So walk me through that process of how do you have some experience, obviously running a restaurant, but the sub business, like how did you learn the sub business?
Just going to eat subs.
Really? So you went and started curating different sub places, like what I like about this place, what I like about that place?
Yeah. Met up with a good distributor and I said, hey, look, food's food. Right. So it's not high end, pizza subs, operations. It's the same thing. It's all people. Right. So, and then I started cutting meats and then, like the steaks for our cheesesteaks, we use skirt steak. It's a great cut.
I just had one. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And I was like, everybody does a cheesesteak with like a ball tip ribeye, like there's something different. He's like, why don't you use Chris steak? I go, shit. So he comes and he brings this like 20-pound thing. I go, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
He's like, you slice it. I was like, how do I do that? He's like, we gotta let it thaw and then this and that. Like, so like, he helped me a lot, and trial and error.
Yeah.
We made a bunch of subs, and they were not good at the beginning, but then they got better.
Yeah.
And then we
little by little, and then the place has really taken off. You've used social media as an awesome tool. I mean, that's how we got reconnected. As far as your constant, like for a small business owner, what are some of the do's and don'ts and things you've learned by using IG and all the different platforms that has really helped you?
We just keep it different. So my thing with Subby is like when you look at the brand, it's like the food's good, right?
It's really good.
So the food's got to be good.
Yeah.
But then if you take it a step further, and I never did this with the pizza place.
Yeah.
And you learn.
Right.
So I started with Subby's like, what's my culture? Like basic things that you learn in school that you're like, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't need this, And then what's my culture? And Subby's, we're Subby's, hot and cold subs, and our slogan is happy to feed you.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm happy to feed you. Like if I'm be happy to feed you,
I
gotta be happy. So I'm always happy, but how can my crew be happy?
Right.
Like what kind of person am I looking for?
Yeah.
And it's you have like, I'll interview somebody and I'll ask them like, are you nice? And they'll look at me and if you give me like that kind of like shithead face, you're not nice.
Right.
If you laugh, you're nice.
Yeah.
Right. So like
keep it simple. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, little things like that, like cultural, like our culture is fun.
Right.
Like you can walk into the store and I was DJ.
Yeah.
Music's big, right? You can be hearing, Biggie one time.
Right.
Then you can go one time and you'll be hearing, AC/DC. You'll hear some 80s. You'll hear some rock classics, hip hop, jazz. I've walked in and they're playing Disney music, like very random.
Yeah.
And that's a vibe.
Right. That's a vibe.
So I'm all about the vibe. And then I transfer that to social media.
Yeah.
So social media is like, okay, here's a picture of Sub. Okay, great. Well, okay, what if I put a video of a Sub with like a little bit of cool music?
Yeah.
Or we do funny videos. We did a post that was, everybody knows me, right? DJ, EJ, right? So like people come in and they'll say like, and I tell people like, look, if somebody comes in like I'm friends with EJ, like, okay, cool, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody comes in and asks for something and says I'm friends with EJ, like they're not friends with me.
Right.
Right. So like we did a cool post and it went crazy. Was like, I forgot the tag, like it was when someone walks in and says they know the owner, and then it's a video of like the people in the front, like, oh, you know the owner, and they're grabbing like 20 chips from the thing and they're giving them free subs and cookies, and they're just like giving them the stores. So it was like, it's funny.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to sell a sub, I'm just trying to be funny, show you my vibe.
Yeah.
And the music, like we have different people doing our posts, and I'll say like, hey, look, when the song, they'll send me the video and they say, what do you think? I go, yeah, but you cut the song off like in the middle of the word. Like I used to DJ, so like make the transition cool.
Make the transition cool.
Like stupid things like that.
But what's funny is when I'm on, like, I'm friends with your IG page, I'll notice, obviously there's pictures of the food and it's really cool, but there's as many pictures of the food as like the people or the action that's happening at the restaurant, right? And so that's kind of a different thing where you're just like, yeah, you're right. We're going to, give you a great sub at a great price and all that kind of stuff. But it's like a hospitality. We want to welcome you here home for your 20 minutes and your hard work earned money. You're going to have a really nice moment here.
No, for sure. It's our grill's famous because we have so many videos of people just chopping.
Yeah.
But it's hospitality.
Right.
And it's crazy how people lose that, service is like the technical delivery, like, here's your sub.
Right.
Thank you for coming.
Right.
Hospitality is like, how to make you feel.
Yeah.
And if I can make you feel, special, cool,
a little bit better,
whatever, then I'm not competing on price. Then I'm competing on because my quality is superior. So that's done, right? We're more expensive than Jersey Mike's, right?
Yeah.
My stuff's a lot better. But then the vibe that I give you is different.
Right.
The people welcome you. They say thank you. They talk to you. And it's hospitality, and people don't focus on that.
No. Dude, think about it. There was coffee shops forever, but then Starbucks started going, EJ, how do you really want your coffee? And when you check out, I'm going to know your name and I'm going to write it on the thing. Like they started to do a lot of things where it was like you're home away from home, right? I could sit at the coffee shop for 45 minutes, read the Wall Street Journal, have my coffee, there is something to it, right?
No,
You're
for
not a
sure.
manufacturing process shop like a Subway that here's your thing, here's your
No,
$2 sub,
no.
whatever. Yeah, there's definitely something to it. And then I think even you and I were talking about it. I was like, in Miami, there's really not a lot of great sub places at all. I can't even think of ones that I consistently go to.
No. There's a few old ones, but they're old.
But they're old, right? They're a little
They're old.
tired.
And it's, you say name. Like,
Yeah.
we train people for names. Like,
Right.
you have to say a person's name a minimum of 4 times when you're taking their order. And you can say it 25 times.
Right.
And so you'll come in and say, hey, I want a large honey mustard chicken. And I say, can I have your name, please? Danny.
Yeah.
From now on, all right, Danny, would you like mustard and mayonnaise? No. Okay, Danny, would you like some cheese? Danny, would you like lettuce, tomato? Danny, would you like chips and drinks?
Right.
Thank you, Danny. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Here's your sub, Danny. You walk out of here like, shit. Like, this is like my best friend. I know that guy for years, right?
I'm coming back.
And it's part of the hospitality mentality.
Yeah.
Right? And people is like, oh, there's nobody good to work. Everybody sucks or whatever. They're out there. You just have to be like picky on who you're bringing in.
Yeah.
And the interview is like, I'm just talking to you and I'm asking you random questions. And you have to fit that hospitality focused criteria. I can teach you how to make a sub, but I can't teach you how to be cool.
No.
And fit with my culture, my vibe, all that. Like, you either fit or you don't. And there's random people in my story. If you walk in and, you get a little different flavor from everybody.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah, if your nose ring, earring, there was a person there that had purple hair, blue hair. I don't care. As long as you're nice and cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I think that's what people care about. Like, yeah, in hiring people, you got to have high standards, right? Like, and that might not fit here, but it may fit somewhere else. And just getting to know the folks of just like, hey, man, this is kind of our culture and this is the way that we operate. And you're going to fit here and I'm going to put the right person in the right seat on the right bus, because it's just not for everybody, right? So some of those guys, they need to go work in an assembly line at the Subway or whatnot. What's one ingredient in a sub that you can't live without?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, really?
The fat kid in me.
That's a trip, man.
On my cold subs.
On your cold sub, on your hot subs. How do you get that meat? Because I just had a half of your specialized sub.
The Josh's.
The Josh's. Then I had the honey mustard. Like, there was something to that meat. I don't know what you put on it, but it was fantastic.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff,
the
man.
stuff from Josh's. I mean, Josh's is doing a great job with his meats. And then it's kind of like the marketing stuff that you learned when I was DJ EJ, right? It's like, you have Josh. He's a great guy. He's across the street and great product. And you use his platform to, promote mine.
Yeah.
That sub, we've had it for about a year now. It's still not officially on the menu, but people come in and say, hey, you still got the Josh? Like, we still got it. We still have it. And I don't know, we have like a little under 16,000 followers on Instagram.
That's pretty great. That's actually good.
We started that sub a year ago and Josh had like 55,000. Okay. So that, that little collab like helped kind of put our name out there.
Yeah.
And then, we're doing the thing with Yonder Alonso now.
Yeah. So what is that?
So Yonder, he's a good friend and he comes into Subbies all the time. And he's there with Chris Clute, a former player at UM. Mm-hmm. And Clute's, he's like, hey man, you should name a sub after me. I was like, why would I name a sub after you?
You're right.
And Yonder's there. And then he goes, what about me? I go, what? You're a lot cooler.
You're from a big league.
You play in the big leagues. You're on TV still.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. But you can't just like pick a sub and call it to Yonder.
Right.
And he goes, well, my mom, when I was growing up, she used to put plantains and everything, maludos in all my food. Why don't you make a sub with plantains? I go, oh man, like let's make a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
We'll put maludos in it. We'll call it the Yonders. Like, dude, let's do it.
That sounds delicious, by the way.
It's really good. I should have brought you.
Yeah. And you take a nap right after.
Yeah. I was like, man, that's a good idea. And then my son, I'm friends with a lot of the baseball guys. So I called JD. I was like, hey, JD, like I have this crazy idea and I think it might work.
Yeah.
I'm about to do a Yonder sub. But what if we do something, because the baseball team doesn't have any money.
Right.
Football gets all the money.
Yeah.
And all these kids, NIL, they make money. And I go, can we do something with baseball?
Yeah.
And the Yonder? And he puts me in touch with Ken Kane's Connection.
Yeah.
Who runs the NIL program for UM. And I said, hey, I have this sub, and I want to give, 50% of every time we sell one of those subs, I'll give 50% to your, the Kane's Connection, but it has to go to baseball. And I said, let's do it. I said, okay, great. Can I do a video? Yeah. But there's some restrictions. And I said, okay, I want to do a video like on the baseball field. They're like, well, let me see if we can get you on the field. Like, I can get on the field. Like, I know.
No problem.
It's like I called JD. I said, JD, I want to get on the field, do a video.
Yeah.
And then I just need to know what I can say and what I can't say.
Right.
So we did this crazy video with me, Yonder, Mikey Torres, and Daniel Couvet, who's like the
best player,
the best players on the thing. And we did the video. We launched the Yonder, and we're selling Yonders. And every time we sell Yonder, the Yonder is $16. We give $8 to UM Baseball.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The Yonder. All right. Curious, Uber Eats and DoorDash and stuff, how much percentage of your business is that? And what has that done to your business?
Uber sucks, right?
Right. They take a big chunk.
It's not so much the chunk, because unfortunately it's become a thing. If you notice, you order from Uber, it's expensive.
Right.
It's expensive because, and people don't say it, but I'm like an open book.
Yeah.
And I tell people when they come to the stores, like, we pay a fee to Uber. That fee, we just tack it onto the menu item.
Yeah, right.
And everybody does it. That's why it's expensive. So it's not the fee that's the problem. It's the service is horrible, because you have these drivers that
they're doing all kinds of pickups, and it's a disaster.
They're doing all pickups. They pick up 5 pickups,
Yeah.
and they're independent contractors, so Uber can't control them.
Right.
The problem is the data. Is now I have somebody in between me and you.
Right. You don't know who I am.
I have no idea who you are.
Wow.
You're Danny.
Yeah.
Right. I know of the order's going to Danny.
Right.
But that's all I know about you.
Yeah.
So I can't talk to you.
Yeah,
and that
it's
that's
not your
like,
customer. It's Uber Eats' customer.
It's Uber Eats, and they have everybody's data. So this is what you guys do.
Right. Right.
So this is like I can't talk to you. I don't know if you like chicken or steak. I don't know the last time you were here.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
The ghost kitchens and stuff like that. Like, how many percentage you think of their orders come from ghost kitchens? That it's like there's a kitchen and the guy does Subbies, he does Johnny's Tacos, whatever. Like, what does that look like? And is that a growing business?
It's huge, because especially like these big brands, like they're dying, right? So like Fridays, Denny's,
there's a ton. Red Lobster,
yeah. But they're running multiple concepts out of the only way they can make the numbers work now is they're running multiple concepts out of their space. So like Fridays, let's say, has a wing concept, and it's Fridays. It's Fridays food. It's just branded differently,
right?
But the consumers just and I talked to them. I was like, dude, order through my app. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You get points. It's cheaper. You save money. It's like, yeah, but
it's so easy.
I was like,
it's like Amazon, bro.
Your food sucks. Like,
yeah.
I'm telling you that your food is getting there, because the drivers, and we try and like restrict them, because the driver walks in with 4 phones, and then the Uber Eats driver's like waving their phone in your face, like, hey, Danny.
Yeah.
And they're running 4 phones. So we train people like, hey, if they're walking with 4 phones, don't give them the order. And
really?
Yeah, because he's got 3 phones, 2 phones.
Yeah.
So he's running Uber Eats on this one. He's running DoorDash on this one. He's running Grubhub on this one. So he'll pick up the Uber order, pick up the DoorDash order, and they're all different restaurants. And the houses are all spread out. So your food potentially sitting there for a while. So as a consumer, to get decent food from Uber, you have to tip like very well. And some people don't tip. So if you don't tip, and your order's not getting picked up from driver,
it's not going to get expedited. Yeah.
It's never going to get picked up, because the driver gets pinged and they're like, oh, I have an order for Danny. And this order's paying $3 and it's 4 miles away.
That's right. You tip ahead of time. I forgot about that.
So the driver knows how much he's making on that run.
Yeah.
So he'll say, oh, $3 for 4 miles.
Yeah.
No.
He goes to the back of the line.
So it never gets picked up.
Or
he'll say $5 for 3 miles. Okay, I'll get it. But then being $10 for 1 mile. He goes, oh no, forget this order.
There you go.
He like removes himself from that order, picks up the other one. So if you've ever noticed that sometimes, we're finding another courier for your order, it's because the drivers keep dropping it because they're finding better ones.
Interesting. Man.
Yeah, it's a mafia.
It's a mafia. And they're on the little
scooters, and they're sitting in the corner and they're talking.
Yeah, they all know each other.
Ricky's using Susie's account and Susie's using Bobby's account.
It's what a racket.
And they can't control them. It's like,
so where do you take this business? So you got one, it's doing well, it's super popular here locally. It's probably the most popular sandwich spot right now. Where do you take it from here? You want to
No,
expand?
now we
What?
grow. Now we grow. So I'm one of those stubborn guys that like has this vision of what I want to be, and pizza. We're still in it, right?
Yeah, you're still in it.
2004, we
How
started.
many restaurants do you have now? The pizza. Two. That's right. Okay. Yeah.
So we're still in it.
Yeah.
But I failed.
No, you didn't. You're still in business, bro.
I still am. But from my perspective, I failed because I wanted to I was like, man, Papa John's, better ingredients, better, whatever. I'm gonna take these guys, and I didn't. So I'm very hard on myself. Like when I was DJing and like I would record my sets and like listen to them the next day and like, oh my, the transition on this sucked and this. So I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah.
I'm my biggest like critic. So I failed with internally.
Yeah, sure.
But I took all that and I said, okay, now I'm gonna do this right because now I know how to do it.
Right.
And Subby's is just is take over. Like I have like this thing now. It's Jersey Mike's. Back then it was Papa John's. Now it's Jersey Mike's. I go to football games and basketball games and they're everywhere. And my thing is like I'm gonna replace all their banners with my banners. You know.
Would you do more store owned or franchise? Like, what's the perfect time to pivot and franchise?
I don't think I'll ever franchise again.
Really? Why? Just because the operators or the infrastructure?
The operators, like this is people.
Yeah,
you know, and it's a lot easier to manage people than it is to manage franchisees.
Yeah,
and I like following successful people, whether they're in my industry or not. And I've spent a long time following Todd Graves from Raising Cane's.
Yeah, I just listened to a podcast. Amazing. He owns like 99% of the stores, right?
800 something stores are going to do $4 billion this year.
Isn't that crazy?
It's like stupid, and the food's good.
The food's good.
The culture's good. Why reinvent the wheel? Like it's like
I'm
trying to
the
build
formula
something like him, right? And he's just a guy like us. I don't know him, but I've talked to people that worked with him. And the plan with this is just to open as many as we can and never franchise. Just because franchising's tough.
It's tough. And the franchise game, it always struck me as like, you got to be a master franchisers, right? Like you got to take big groups out, or you have the infrastructure on the franchisor side. So a guy owns 50 Burger Kings, 50 Pizza Huts, whatever.
Yeah. That's where we failed, was because
you went to
people liked my concept.
Right.
And we met a lot of great people. But the qualified multi-unit guy that's going to open 10 stores, 50 stores, they'd say, I love your brand. I love what you're doing. How are you going to support me?
Right.
And I'd be like, I'm going to try really hard.
It's not good enough for him. Yeah.
So it was always like the cycle. It was like, well, why don't we acquire you? It's like, okay.
Right.
And we went through that cycle. And like, this is not, no. So you can't do the mom and pops because the mom and pops don't know what it's like to be in the restaurant business.
Right.
And then, we had one friend, and then they always have these ideas. And, we had one franchise. He's like, I'm going to sell coffee. I was like, no, man. We don't sell coffee.
Yeah.
He's like, no, but I need to sell coffee. I was like, we don't sell coffee.
Yeah.
Walk in his store. This was when Panther Coffee was like blowing up.
Yeah.
He buys this big espresso machine. I was like, how much did that thing cost you? He's like, no, it's like $10,000. I was like, I feel bad telling you to take it down. Man, I'm a nice guy. Like, I'm like, because you spent so much money, but like, whatever.
Yeah, that's not part of the playbook that we designed for you to roll out, and you don't have that freedom to do that.
No, 2 months later, hey, let me see reports. How many coffees have you sold? I think he had sold like 21. I was like, come on, bro.
Because usually when I'm eating my pizza, I don't want to drink coffee.
No.
Yeah, it's a disgusting taste.
But so it's hard when you're with the mom and pop stuff.
Yeah,
and people. Because look, it's an expensive investment, right?
Yeah.
The legal, the documentation, but it's not. It's cheaper than opening another store.
Right.
So people think that's the best way to grow, and it's not, because the money that you need to invest in the infrastructure is crazy.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
You need so many people, systems. It's not what everybody thinks it is.
All right, real quick, we're gonna play a game. Rapid fire questions. You ready?
Yep.
All right, first question.
I'm horrible at this.
First question. I think you're going to do great. First question. Miami bass or gangster rap?
Miami bass. Always. That was an easy one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Your go-to song to hype up a crowd?
Oh, man, there's so many. I have like randoms.
Go give me a few randoms.
I was so random, like there was these party breaks. Stevie B was always like
Stevie B's always solid.
Stevie B was, that
especially in Miami.
You start hitting them with that, and Stevie B, rock and roll always worked. Lionel Richie,
yeah.
Like I was the guy that what we did good was we were random. Like we started the open format, it's called, where you go to a club and you'd hear like hip hop, rock, 80s, dance, everything in one
all the hits
night,
mixed well.
right? So like it could be 3:00 in the morning and I'll play Lionel Richie like all night long, right?
And people love
like,
it.
oh my God. What is it? You know, what's the name of man, I blank out on his the fame. Why do I blank? She was in the American Idol.
Katy Perry?
No,
Paula Abdul. Paula
Abdul. Paula Abdul. I played Paula Abdul. Like,
and people love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Random.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's a hot dog.
Any food, any food fad that you wish would go away?
Pizza.
You wish it would go away?
No, the fad of pizza, right?
The fad of pizza. Okay.
The thing with pizza right now, it's like pizza's always been crowded.
Yeah, it's a crowded spot.
Everybody loves pizza.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, you know, Detroit this and Chicago's hot honey drizzle this.
Yeah.
You're
like, right.
Oh my God, this pizza's so good. It's too, because they sprinkled a little bit of honey on it.
Yeah, enough.
So it's like, it's.
Give me a good traditional slice of pepperoni. I'll be happy.
That's it.
Exactly. Keep it simple. Okay. Your favorite DJ?
Oh, Kid Capri.
Kid Capri.
No, I take it back. DJ M. It's a tie.
DJ, okay.
DJ M and Kid Capri.
So you're hardcore Miami.
Yeah.
All right. Last and final question. Super important. You can't blow this one. Are the Canes going to win the national championship?
I don't know. I love Mario and I love the Canes.
But the number 4 in the nation.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, right? I mean, we got a playoff system. We got the best quarterback's going to win the Heisman.
Our offense is stupid good.
It's loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded. Unstoppable. EJ, where can people find out about you, your restaurants, and these delicious subs?
Subby Subs.
In South Miami.
Subby Subs in South Miami and Power Pizzeria.
And Power Pizzeria, make sure you order the Yonder. I just had the honey chicken and this cheesesteak and all of it. It's amazing. My friend, I'm so proud of you.
No, it's great catching up. Now we did it on camera.
Now we did it on camera.
We're like, fuck it, let's catch up on
now.
TV. Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, thank you for having me.